Hello, my name is Abigail Henshaw, and for my final project for the honors section of Classic Mythology with Dr. Crozier, I decided to focus on the option at investigating myth and modernity, specifically how symbols from Greek and Roman mythology, such as the gods we read about extensively in Ovid's Metamorphoses, influence advertising and culture in today's society. It is obvious the amount of inspiration that is drawn from all types of mythology by the sheer amount of companies, advertisements, and media that pull from classic mythological stories and characters. I was overwhelmed at first by the number of examples, so I decided to focus on two subjects, Mercury or Hermes and King Midas. From there, I have narrowed it down to two companies each that pull from mythology in their advertising or branding. For Mercury, I will talk about the companies Goodyear and Red Bull, and for Midas, I will discuss Midas Automotive and Skittles. Goodyear and Midas will cover how the businesses use the myths for their branding, whereas Red Bull and Skittles will be looking at commercial advertisements utilizing the myths for entertainment purposes. Mercury, or Hermes, has several symbols associated with him that have been used in modernity. From here on out, I'm going to refer to him as Hermes because I have a really hard time saying Mercury. One example is Goodyear. Most people have driven past a Goodyear location, or maybe have thought about the Goodyear blimp recently if you're like me and have a sister who is oddly obsessed with blimps, but you may not have given much of a second thought into their logo. Resting between the words good and year is a winged shoe, or as the company calls it, a wingfoot, that was introduced in their advertising in 1901 by the founders of the company. You may be wondering what a shoe has to do with a company that sells tires. If you grew up reading Percy Jackson like myself, you may think that a pair of sneakers that will drag you to Tartarus, the deepest part of the underworld, wouldn't be the best object to utilize for your company's logo. But the talaria, or winged sandals of Hermes, have a positive connotation in terms of symbolism. The shoes are associated with the messenger god, trade and commerce, and swiftness. The idea of speed is what led the founders of Goodyear to land on this shoe as their logo. Continuing with the use of symbols relating to Hermes is another example of the talaria, or winged sandals, making an appearance in this 2001 commercial for Red Bull. So let's give it a watch real quick.
Hermes, messenger of the gods, hearken unto Zeus!
What's up, dude?
You've stolen the drink of the gods. Now suffer my wrath. As punishment, you must hand over your winged sandals.
I don't need these ancient Greek sneakers anyway. I found something better.
Better than the divine ambrosia?
Yeah, it's Red Bull.
Red Bull, a new drink of the gods?
Nah, it's a new cold drink on Earth. It's more fun down there anyway.
And how do you plan to get back without your winged sandals?
With Red Bull, it gives you wings.
Zeus punishes Hermes by taking his winged sandals, but Hermes tells Zeus that he's found something even better than ambrosia, Red Bull, of course. He also says that he doesn't need his sandals anymore because, as we all know, Red Bull gives you wings! The next subject in mythology that I found several references to in advertising is King Midas. Automotive companies must be a big fan of mythology, as we see again with Midas, Total Car Care. That's gold logo and branding statements allude to the story of King Midas. In Ovid's retelling of the story, Midas is granted a wish by Bacchus that makes everything he touched turn into gold. Midas, the automotive company, not the king, uses this myth in their branding with their Midas Golden Guarantee that gives a limited lifetime warranty on all products purchased from the company. Similar to Red Bull's use of mythology pertaining to Hermes, Skittles uses Midas' story and twists the myth into the Skittles touch instead of the Golden Touch in this 2007 advertisement.
Hey, Tim, show Joel how everything you touch turns into Skittles.
That's awesome.
Is it awesome? Well, you can't hold your newborn baby boy in your arms. Did you feed and dress yourself this morning? I didn't. I met a man on the bus today. I shook his hand. He'll never see his family again. I guess that's pretty awesome. Excuse me.
Touch the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
The commercial, although comical and overall very creative, highlights the reality of Midas's golden touch, showing how it can be both a blessing and a curse. There are numerous other examples of Greek, Roman, and other forms of mythology that have influenced society from entertainment to brands and products. These were just a couple that focused on two figures in Greek and Roman mythology, King Midas and Hermes. But I highly recommend keeping an eye out to see what other items or media that you interact with daily draw on mythological symbols or characters. Here's my works cited. The end. Hope you enjoyed.